So Scott and I, Mr. Bickford, well, I should introduce myself, Derek Pappaceno.
And Scott Bickford, Enrichment teacher.
Yep, so we've been talking for a while how it's been a few years since the school's had a large community event. In the past, I was a big part of some of those events as part of the enrichment program, and I had actually spoken to my son, and I said, hey, when's the last time? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, okay, so it's been a long time. I think COVID stopped everything. So we've been talking about it, so let's put something together. So some of this comes from an older idea I had years ago, but we thought we would bring this back. So we're hosting what we're calling the Education and Enrichment Expo. It'll be Thursday, so it's school night from 5 to 8 o'clock. So it'll be free to get into the show. We're asking for donations for End 16 Hours of Hunger. The police department have agreed to put up like their Hummer, one of the large vehicles, and the goal is to fill it that evening. In addition to food, we're thinking about other hygiene products, things that definitely some of our kids could need. Because we're looking at going into the summer, and 68 doesn't do a lot of that. So how about getting kids toothpaste, deodorant, things like that. Any type of hygiene products. So that'll be, you know, people want to make a cash donation, they can do that as well. Dinner will be $1 that night. Thank you to Hannaford, they donated 20 cases of water. So we have water for everybody, and then we're working with Mr. Cowan to get hot dog, chips, and a drink. So dinner for $1, it's a pretty good deal for an evening for some parents.
And we did find, we'll see later on, we have been communicating with a lot of different businesses throughout Lakes region, throughout the state. And we did find someone who's going to come set up a food truck out in the front area. Drink positive, so they make different smoothies, some fruit smoothies, some coffees. So there'll be some other options as well besides that.
So it's, I mean, dinner for $1, making it economical for all of our community members. But as well, if people are interested in a hot dog, they have some really healthy smoothies out there, organic. They also do some dessert type smoothies. So if people are leaving and they want to go treat themselves to like a nice dessert, they can also pay for that as well.
Another purpose of this event is to raise money, which we'll explain what that money's for. This particular group, the Drink Positive, has agreed to turn over 100% of their tips to us for the cause that we'll be getting into here.
Yep. So if we think back to the old science fairs, it was moms and dads helping build volcanoes, right? Dry ice if you had the cool parents, or baking soda vinegar if you did that. I had the baking soda. So what we want to do with the expo is we want to get rid of the volcanoes. We want to get rid of the parents building things and whose parent has more materials and all that. No more standing around waiting for a prize or who's the best. We want to change that model. Okay. So the theme is it's all about me. So kids are going to be entering stuff that is all about themselves. So showing how all our little mountaineers are enriched through different passions and things that they do. So instead of a kid creating a science experiment, we've been asking all the kids, what's your passion? You know, we also want to step away with saying, teachers, you know, what we want you to do for the next month is do an experiment with your kids. Or build something, because as I told the kids, not everybody likes science. Not everyone wants to do that same thing. So we want kids on this evening to put forth what they're passionate about. So we have kids that might go home every day and they just love building with clay. Maybe they're drawing, building with Legos. They all have a passion they're good at, right? We want to recognize it.
Give them a chance to showcase something that they've had an appreciation for or passion with themselves for a long time. It could be writing. It could be working with growing plants, anything that is important to them. We want them to be able to showcase that and display that.
Yep, and it might be, you know, it might be technology as well. I'll be honest, the middle school is a little bit of a challenge, and a lot of times these events tend to be for your younger kids. We did reach out to everybody, and you know, I was kind of joking, like I hope you guys go home and do more than watch YouTube videos and play video games. Like, what are we doing, right? What are we proud of? What are we passionate? What is something that you might want to do when you get older? Maybe you want to be a musician. Maybe you want to be a computer programmer. Who knows what? You know, you might want to be a cook, a writer, painter. Maybe you do like science experiments. We're not saying no to the science experiments as well. Maybe they like math. Maybe they're earning badges for something that they're involved in. They're in another program. jewelry, whatever it may be. We don't want to discourage kids from other passions, because we have those kids like, oh, I love soccer. We all love soccer, so the question is, you know, what is it about soccer? Do you go home and watch, and I'm all for it, you know, I watch YouTube videos, guys show me how to juggle and do all these fake moves, so it's like, great. So part of the show, again, we don't want kids to stand there all night, so they will pass in their projects, their displays, and then they could leave that night and walk around, because we're going to get to all the other fun stuff. But everyone will have a form where I go over and I see all these photographs, or I see a recipe, and there's a paper that says, hey, I'm passionate about cooking. You know, I got into cooking because my grandmother bakes with us. You know, here's one of her recipes. I get all my ingredients at Hannaford, so we can learn about what our kids are doing. How are you getting better at that passion, okay? One thing we're working on, so, you want to do this?
So we're going to have a number of different, not to give things away, but a lot of raffle prizes for folks that are coming in. But for students that are displaying something that they love to do, we're looking to have a separate raffle drawing for them. It could be a gift card to Amazon, Target. So we're looking at some special gifts, a gift card, right? Special raffle prizes for them for participating with that particular part of the night.
There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a big draw for lots of other reasons we're getting to, but we don't want kids to come that night just so they can see other stuff. It's like, we want to hear from you too. So we hope, always nice to dang a little carrot there, entice the kids. So if we said, hey, if you submit something, you're going to do a special raffle just for you. But for everybody else, we should go back to that. We'll do this first, sorry. So we'll get to the raffles. In addition to putting out the kids' projects that night, we have all this stuff going on in the building, okay? So probably in the library here, we're going to have wildlife encounters. So they're going to be bringing their animals. They'll probably have scheduled times. So if kids want to come in here and learn about animals and hang out for half an hour, they can do that. In the gym, we're going to have Bob 319 sharing what they do at the high school with the robotics. So the Alton Police will be here. On the basketball court, we have the Astronomical Society of New Hampshire with their telescopes, so solar viewing, other viewing of the night sky, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, fishing game, Lego Your Mind out of Concord. We're going to set up a whole room of Legos with the maglev ramp so kids can build magnetic floating cars. Wind Arrow out of Laconia is going to bring 2 flight simulators, so if kids want to see what it's like to try and land and take off a plane. The Aviation Museum, which is new to me, they're coming, so they're going to be talking about interest in flight as well. We have a sculptor that we just met. He does some great stuff. Leo, who actually just got off the phone with him. He does beautiful, there's like kinetic artwork, so they're all soldered wires with marbles at moving tracks. So he's going to be here talking to kids about his passion for art. We have a professional photographer. So the goal was to say, all right, let's get a little bit of everything. You know, we have someone who enjoys, you know, cooking or working with food, building, animals, photography, planes. So
the kids don't have to be just standing at their presentations. They're going to be out doing lots of things. And some of these folks, it might be just open door. Maybe Jeremy knows photographers in the classroom, and folks can just kind of filter in, look at his work, you know, talk with him about what he does. While other presenters might have a couple of set times. Like Derek mentioned, the wildlife encounters could be a 20-minute segment. They might take 30 people. Someone will assist, close the door. After that presentation, they leave, and there might be another, so it might be 2 or 3 different times where the kids can come in and see wildlife encounters. And one of the ideas is, while students are looking at, these are people that have had passions in their life that they've actually been able to make careers out of. And now they can have these conversations. Jeremy Noy is a good example. You know, maybe he didn't feel like math was his big subject in class, but now, as a photographer, he's using more math than he ever has. So they can also be talking to the kids about, well, you know, math is going to be important if you're interested in photography because. Yeah. So there's those conversations will be happening as well.
We also have a musician out of Rochester who makes his own guitars. Another nice thing, when the kids enter the building that night to the front, we have a photo booth, so she'll be there for a couple hours. Every family will get a nice free 4x6 postcard with our logo on it and their family, kind of like when you go in the Boston Aquarium. So everyone will get one of those that night before they leave. Just a nice memento for the evening, okay? Now we can get to all the, so these are some of the things. So So again, the flight simulator, telescopes, Legos, animals, a wide variety of stuff.
Okay.
So,
Questions so far? Or?
Nice. No,
taking
great.
up your whole meeting,
Great.
Holly. We're gonna be leaving here late, sorry. So we have over $3,000 in raffle prizes. Scott and I reached out to over 100 people, small businesses in the state, some out of state, just to say, hey, we wanna really encourage kids to come out. What can you do to help us with that? So we have literally over $3,000 in prizes. These are some of the logos from all those places. So, you know, tickets, a lot of these are like a family of 4, so a family that night who comes in, we're gonna run these are all gonna be raffle items, and the goal is that we're gonna raise money for the senior center to build them a vegetable garden. So all the proceeds, all that money is gonna go right to the senior center and, make a nice handicap accessible, so something for wheelchairs, walkers, whatever, so those folks can, do some plantings. But most of these, again, are like, tickets of 4 for a family. So that night, people can throw $1 in one of the buckets. We'll have different prices, you know, from the arm length down to 1 ticket. And some of these were very generous, like Alpine Adventures gave us a $150 gift card. Everyone wants to go zip lining. We have a lot of fun stuff, some tech stuff. This is a Let's Roam gave me, 5?
It's about $1,000 worth from them.
Yeah, so it's an app, it's a free app where you can do a scavenger hunt with your family. And there's all these different towns all over the country. So if you're in Portsmouth, you download that and you can walk around for an hour. It tells you to take pictures and find answers. So lots of raffle prizes that night.
And with about 7 or 8 weeks to go, we're still waiting to hear back from about 60 more. So we're hoping to reach $4,000 total in raffle prizes.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know, we can get a nice fund going for the senior center.
We reached out to Ralph Fletcher, who's a local author, who's supposed to be a presenter. He couldn't make it, but he should be sending us an autographed book. The Loneliest Elephant is his latest book.
So
Awesome. That looks really great.
I haven't
Really
left anything
impressed.
out, but so we've been working on this since January, and we're hoping we get at least half the student population to come that night. We'll see.
It's our opportunity to invite all of you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we'd love for all of you to come and spend the night and see all the wonderful stuff going on.
Well,
Be
we
a
appreciate
nice-
the work you've done.
Nice community event and give kids an opportunity to share what they do maybe outside of school.
That's good. That looks great.
All right, thank you so
Love
much.
it. Fantastic.